CEXs or DEXs, centralized exchanges or decentralized exchanges. But our next speaker, Grigory Rybalchenko, who is the CEO and founder of Emiswap, wants to talk about the synergy of CEXs and DEXs as part of a single ecosystem. Alors, nous allons maintenant entendre de Grigory Rybalchenko, fondeur et président du Emiswap.
Hello, everyone. My name is Grigory, and I'm founder and co-developer of decentralized exchange Emiswap. And today we want to talk about the synergy between centralized and decentralized exchanges and how they fit into one ecosystem. Traditionally, people consider that DEX is an alternative or even competitor to the centralized exchanges. But we can look at this from the different angle. To do this, I propose do detailed comparison between centralized and decentralized exchanges. If we talk about the privacy, then decentralized exchanges are completely anonymous. At the same time, most centralized exchanges require KYC. So they request all the information from the user. There are still exchanges which are centralized and they don't ask KYC, but because of the regulation, the amount of these exchanges become less and less and less. The second one is the liquidity, and of course the liquidity on centralized exchanges much more higher, the amount of users much more higher. Decentralized exchanges, they grow pretty good. The liquidity is growing pretty good, but it is still far from centralized exchanges. When we talk about the speed of processing of the transactions, it is super high on centralized exchanges, and there is a low speed on decentralized. And most of the decentralized exchanges, even not like exchanges, but they are AMMs, automatic market makers. So the process, how they function, a bit different compared to the centralized one, and all of this because of low speed of transactions. Security risks are different here as well, because on the decentralized exchanges, only the user owns his money and confirm transactions through his MetaMask wallet. At the same time, there could be bugs or miswritten smart contracts, and this imposes people to the risks associated with that, and there could be some vulnerabilities there. So there is only risk in decentralized exchanges are smart contract risks. The opposite to centralized exchanges, there are counterparty risks, because when someone trades on the centralized exchanges, their funds completely managed by centralized exchanges, and of course, um, like funds completely depend on the counterparty. Censorship is also different. Centralized exchange, most of them, those which has KYC especially, are regulated ones. They have licenses, not only KYC, but the fiat, I would say, fiat onboarding, they are regulated ones, because like for non-regulated exchange, there is no possibility to get bank accounts or credit card providers onboarded, and decentralized are completely unregulated, and there is a huge complexity to regulate them, because there is a code on the blockchain, and there could be no legal entity at all. Just the group of developers who posted the open source code. And usability for newbies much more better on centralized exchanges, because there is no need to store private keys. There is no need to learn how to use MetaMask compared to decentralized exchanges, which are more for the geeks and need more knowledge to work with decentralized exchanges. Functionality for centralized exchanges also much more higher, because of their ability to do all the calculations outside of the blockchain. With the decentralized exchanges, all the calculations are being done on the blockchain. That's why, and all the calculations cost money, cost fees. So that's why there is a very limited calculations, and then a limited amount of services could be implemented on decentralized exchanges. And of course, the last one, but not the least, is listing fees. So centralized exchanges, they always take listing fees, or maybe not always, but 99%. And the listing fees are pretty much high. And the bigger the exchange, the higher the risks, the higher the fees. Some big exchanges could ask like $500,000 or $1 million for the listing. For the decentralized exchange, anyone can list any token. So when we looked at the differences, let's see how the money goes from fiat to DEXs. There are finally, and we believe that everything come to DEXs, that the final destination is DEX, because the major risk or the major cons of centralized exchange is counterparty risks. And if we look at the flow of the fiat, it goes through the banks or digital banks or PSPs, payment service providers. Then this fiat can come to the centralized exchange. On the centralized exchange, the fiat could be converted into the crypto, and then only crypto can be traded on the DEXs. And when we talked about competition, we can see that there is no competition or few competition, because CEXs are providing access to the people to convert fiat into crypto and then use DEX. So DEXs, it will be very, very hard to use DEXs without CEXs. At the same time, we also can see that there are different functionalities available on DEXs and CEXs. For example, on CEXs, there is a, because of speed, there are high frequency trading available, or security tokens trading available because KYC and so on. At the same time, on DEX, there are different other cool stories available, like decentralized lending without middleman, staking and farming of the tokens, NFT like NFT, ability to use NFTs on the DEXs, and automated launch pads. So the scope of services is different. So they kind of supplement each other with the services. If we look at the trading volume, we can see this is comparison of Binance, Coinbase, and Uniswap, and we can see that there is a huge amount of trading going on centralized exchange, and despite that decentralized are growing, there is no much volume, so which also shows that there is a amount of users which prefer and value the services which CEXs give, and some amount like prefer DEXs for its functionality. But definitely DEXs at this point of time cannot substitute CEXs. Also, there is a regulatory consideration about DEXs, and that's how they look like. So there is a regulator, and regulation require this is like accepted in most of the countries. They regulations focus on KYC and compliance in the requirements of the fast travel rule. At the same time, DeFi protocols are not classified as virtual asset service providers, and that's why by the regulators, and that's why they are not under fast travel rule. So it means that DeFi is not regulated, and maybe there will be some time when the situation change, but as for now, it's completely unregulated. They are completely unregulated. At the same time, different not countries, but like Wyoming is just only one state in US, but they recognize decentralized organization as a limited liability companies. So these companies, decentralized, they are able to, there is a legal recognition of this, so they are able to act as a traditional legal organization. So definitely this, and I think that's will be spread across the globe, because more and more decentralized organizations are being created, and regulator will need to adapt and start recognizing these companies.